Hello! If I said to you Phytophthora infestans, you probably wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. Well, Phytophthora infestans is the scientific name for late blight. And today we're talking about late blight on your tomato plants. What is it? Where does it come from? How can you prevent it? And what can you do once you've got it? I'm Gang Gang. Welcome to the channel. Gang Gang and Peanuts. 2 peas in a pod. Now, if you're an experienced gardener, no doubt you would have encountered late blight on your tomato plants. However, if you're a beginner or you're new to growing tomatoes, it's best to be armed with some information to help you deal with the problem as and when it should arise. And the question is, what is blight? Well, blight originates from the humble potato in the form of potato blight. And it's a fungus type of infection that releases tiny spores or oomocytes. There's a scientific word for you. And these oomocytes that are growing on the potatoes get lifted off and carried by the wind for considerable distances, I believe up to 30 miles. These spores land on and near and around your tomato plants, where they sit and they wait like a little silent assassin. They're waiting for the right conditions. And the right meteorological conditions are when it's hot and wet, warm and humid, and those are the kind of conditions that typify an English summer, which is normally a period of hot weather followed by a thunderstorm or a shower for you. And as soon as these spores come into contact with a film of water, they become, let's say, activated. And once they're activated, they systematically set about doing their utmost to destroy your tomato plants. So how do you know when you've got blight on your tomato plants? Well, one of the signs is that there's normally brown patches appear on the leaves, which quickly expand over a period of a day or two. And there may also be a growth on the underside of the leaves. And at this point, you have a chance of slowing the late blight down by removing all of these leaves, and preferably burning them. Certainly do not compost them. And shortly after this, you'll notice on the stems that brown patches start to appear, which spread quite rapidly. And eventually you'll notice that the fruits on your plants take on a brownish greenish hue and start becoming quite mushy. And at this point, there's just no saving the plant. And the best thing you can do is cut it down and dispose of it. Bag it up, put it into your council rubbish disposal, or burn the plant completely, or you can bury it very deeply so that these spores are never going to come to the surface again. It's important that when you are removing any leaves from the plants infected by late blight, that you keep any tools such as secateurs or scissors that you use to remove the leaves. It's important that you keep them cleaned and disinfected, because it's very easy to spread the late blight from one plant to another plant. So wash your hands, wash the tools that you're using, and try and stop the spread. Now, once the blight has taken hold, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. There are no commercially available products to help you in your fight against this blight. There were a couple of years ago, but they've been removed for sale for environmental and for health reasons. Now, there are 1 or 2 things that you can do to prevent the blight getting hold in the first place, or at least to slow down its progress. One of the measures that you can take, especially if you're planning to grow your tomatoes outside, is to grow blight-resistant varieties, of which there are many now available through most of the main seed dealers and plant dealers that you can find online. Another measure you can take is to grow your plants in a polytunnel or in a greenhouse under cover, and thus keeping them dry and potentially protecting them from the spores that are spreading and landing on your plants. You can also make sure that you are very careful with your watering, maybe to mulch the bottom of your plant and remove the leaves for the first few feet from the bottom of the plant to prevent you from accidentally splashing any water onto these leaves thus giving the late blight a foothold. Also, you can plant your plants a greater distance apart, so that if one plant should get the blight, there's less chance of it infecting the next one. But another measure is that you could make up a spray, and I'll put the recipe for it up here. But these are preventative measures, not measures that you can take after the blight has taken hold. Now, another good tool in the fight against blight is to use the internet, and there are a few sites. I think one's called Blight Spy or Blight Watch, and it takes information from the James Hutton Institute, and it predicts quite accurately when it expects a blight period to be in effect in your area. And also on my phone I have downloaded an app which is a blight map, and it takes the information from the James Hutton Institute and informs me when blight is likely to be striking in the area of the world in which I live, which is in the UK, in the southeast of England. Very, very good. I'd advise you to try it. So there we are. That's late blight and some of the ways that you can combat it. I hope that by watching this video you have armed yourself with some more information, some tools, shall we say, in the fight against the late blight. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Gang Gang. This is Gang Gang and Peanut, 2 peas in a pod. And as ever, until next time, take care. Bye.